The state of Missouri is set to receive more than 300,000 COVID-19 vaccines by the end of the year. I'm Zach Dodge with a look at distribution coming up.
Health officials reduced the required quarantine time for COVID-19. I'm Kate Kelly with how my nephew feels about having to spend less time stuck inside.
And the Lamar Tigers play for a state football title.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
More than 300,000 COVID-19 vaccines are expected to arrive in Missouri later this month. This is KOAM News at 10. That is enough to give initial vaccines to all healthcare workers and long-term care residents and staff in the state. KOAM's Zach Dodge has details, also reaction from a local hospital.
We now have a commitment of 339,775 doses of vaccine for initial vaccination.
Department of Health and Senior Services Director Randall Williams breaking big news to reporters during a press call on Friday.
So that's groundbreaking news.
He explains that all of those vaccines will go to healthcare workers and long-term care residents and staff. The distribution plan is complex, so let's focus on the first phase. Williams says an initial shipment of around 50,000 Pfizer vaccines are expected in the state around December 12th. Those will go to 20 different vaccine sites throughout the state for the first set of healthcare workers. Around a week later, 61,000 more Pfizer vaccines will be distributed by Walgreens and CVS to long-term care facilities. Then on December 21st, 105,000 Moderna vaccines will be sent directly to hospitals around the state like Mercy and Freeman in Joplin.
It's good news. We have processes in place where we can vaccinate our workers very rapidly and very efficiently.
Everybody will be able to get their first shot in that universe of 350,000 in December, if not even in January, and get their second shots either in January or February.
That will conclude part 1 of phase 1. Part 2 will then start more than likely in February. That will include 3 million essential workers like teachers, critical manufacturing workers, and first responders. Those vaccines will be sent to local health departments, pharmacies, and hospitals throughout the state where essential workers can be vaccinated on site.
They will identify themselves as one of those groups and be vaccinated. That at this point, I do not anticipate one group won't get priority over another.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Williams anticipates moving to vaccinations in the general public by May. The vaccine will be given for free. However, providers can apply a small administrative fee, but residents won't be turned away if they can't afford that fee. The state is not mandating that healthcare personnel receive the vaccine, but both Freeman and Mercy say there will be highly encouraging vaccinations. Coronavirus cases are rising again in the area after Thanksgiving. Local health officials and the CDC urged people not to travel for Thanksgiving and to limit family gatherings, fearing a surge in cases. Joplin health officials say the cases were beginning to trend down before Thanksgiving. However, that number is now rising.
Yeah, it certainly seems like we were trending down prior to Thanksgiving. Now, whether or not this is just an anomaly or whether we're truly seeing an uptick or an upsurge in cases, we have yet to see for sure. But there is concern there, absolutely.
Remember to find the latest coronavirus numbers for your area. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com, then click on the coronavirus link at the top of the webpage. Health departments across the country are updating their guidance on how long to quarantine based on new data from the CDC. KOAM's Kate Kelly spoke with her sister's family about why they're eager to be given the all clear sooner rather than later.
This is my nephew's room, and he's spending a lot of extra time here after testing positive for COVID-19. He got tested after his foster siblings were exposed. So far, he's asymptomatic.
My mom keeps taking my temperature, and I've yet to have a fever.
Kobe couldn't believe he had COVID. He says he's still feeling just fine, but that's what worries him about the coronavirus, how it can spread undetected. The health department advised him to stay in his room and away from everyone else as much as possible since he's the only one in the household who tested positive.
Yeah, it is a little different. It's a little weird having to wear a mask leaving your room. That's a little different feeling. But It's not too hard with like technology and everything. I just FaceTime my mom, ask her to give me a drink or something.
My sister is working from home, monitoring Kobe and trying to keep her 3 foster kids, ages 6, 3, and 2, all entertained. Fortunately for her, the health department says she and the kids only need to quarantine for a total of 10 days rather than 14.
A 10-day quarantine mitigates most of the risk. It's not all of the risk. There's still a tiny percentage of folks that can get that, come down symptomatic from day 11 to 14, but 10 days gets the vast majority of the people. So that's the new quarantine timeline, 10 days from last exposure. There's also another nuanced option of potentially coming out of quarantine on day 7. But to come off of quarantine on day 7, you have to have a negative test result.
The reduced quarantine time might just save my sister's sanity.
She's ready to go back. The kids are wreaking havoc. They're all over the place.
Kobe says it's important for everyone to take this pandemic seriously. He worries about getting his mom and foster siblings sick, and he's also getting tired of living in his room.
It's awful. I do not recommend this. I recommend everyone wear a mask. Everyone stay 6 feet apart.
In Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
There's been no change to the isolation procedures for those who test positive for COVID-19. If you are showing symptoms, you're required to isolate for 10 days. If you're asymptomatic, showing no signs like Kobe, you're required to isolate for 10 days after the testing date. If symptoms like a fever persist, so does your isolation time. Doug Heddy joining us now with our first look at weather. A good end to the work week for many of us, Doug.
Yeah, we got sunshine today. We got all the clouds, all the rain out of here, and we had some pretty thick fog during the morning hours. 29 to start, 51 was our afternoon high, which is right where we should be for this time of the year. Clear skies. We're going to have clear skies tonight. There is a slight chance a little bit of fog could build in later on tonight, but look west. This is where our weather comes from. There's not much going on, so our weather's going to be pretty quiet, at least over the next couple days. 39 in Fort Scott, 39 in Parsons, 38 in Neosho, and as we work through the overnight hours, we'll drop back near 30 by the time the morning rolls around. 40 by 9, 50 by noon, high temp at 54, so Saturday, a pretty good day. We'll look at some changes down the road here in just a bit.
Doug, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Earlier today, the sheriff in Jackson County, Mississippi, shed some light on a local mystery. He announced that the body of a Webb City girl who went missing almost 38 years ago has been identified. KOAM's Mike Mahoney has the details.
This is a picture of Alicia Ann Heinrich, taken around the age of 1. For the last 38 years, her Webb City, Missouri family thought she was missing but still alive, until investigators in Mississippi told them about their discovery based off of DNA genealogy tests.
The family was extremely overwhelmed. They had no idea. They were still under the assumption that Alicia was alive and living somewhere.
Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff Mike Azell says, back in 1982, an 18-month-old baby's body was found on the banks of the Escatawpa River, but her identity could not be determined. He says drivers reported seeing a woman walking with a baby near the highway before the body was found, and that investigators think that woman was Gwendolyn Clemens, Alicia's mother.
She's never been discovered, or found, or located, so this is an ongoing active investigation.
The investigation may be ongoing, but Sheriff Azell isn't optimistic that Gwendolyn is alive.
She hasn't been heard of since Thanksgiving of '82. We're assuming the worst, but we don't know that for sure.
Investigators do have a suspect in Alicia and Gwendolyn's deaths, but they say he's no longer alive and won't release his name as they continue to investigate.
She told her family members she was going with him to start a new life down in Florida. And so, shortly after, when he returned, they weren't with him.
The sheriff made it clear that he didn't think Gwendolyn harmed Alicia, and that he hopes Friday's press conference will get the attention of other law enforcement agencies who may be able to help locate Gwendolyn. I'm Mike Mahoney for KOAM News.
KOAM did reach out to some of Alicia and Gwendolyn's relatives here in the forested area, but haven't heard back from them yet for comment. Joplin police say a man is dead after a fire on South Pitcher. The Joplin Fire Department was called earlier this morning. 2 females were outside the home. Firefighters found a third person, 68-year-old David Crawford of Joplin, inside. All 3 were taken to the hospital where Crawford later passed away. One of the females was listed in critical condition, the other in stable condition. Authorities are investigating the cause of this fire. The Nevada, Missouri Police Department is asking for the public's help identifying this man in this photo. Police say he is a suspect in an armed robbery this evening of the community pharmacy in Nevada. Anyone with information is being asked to call the Nevada Police Department. Pittsburgh police are looking for a man who robbed a convenience store at gunpoint just before 5 this morning. Police say he wore a face covering and stocking cap into the snack attack on East 4th Street, showed the clerk a handgun, then demanded cash. Officials say no one was hurt. Still ahead, the Nevada Regional Medical Center continues a festive fundraiser. And we're going to introduce you to the four-legged volunteer pulling in the big bucks for the Salvation Army. The Nevada, Missouri Regional Medical Center today hosted its annual lighting of the Tree of Shining Memories. The tree has been a tradition ever since 1993 and is used as a fundraiser for the NRMC Foundation. For every $10 donated to the foundation, a light will be placed on the tree.
Obviously, it's important to people, so I'm glad that they do it year after year, and it helps them remember their loved ones. And you know, a lot of people have a hard time at Christmas for that reason, and I hope it helps.
The Tree of Shining Memories is on the southeast corner of the Vernon County Courthouse lawn. It's a sign of the holidays, right? The Salvation Army bell ringer. You've probably seen them outside of stores collecting donations for the Salvation Army. Every donation helps, big or small. Have you seen a donkey bell ringer, though? There are those socks that I love. Guy's got style. That's Jack the Bible Donkey, bringing in dollars on behalf of the Salvation Army.
When he's ringing the bell and somebody hands me the camera and says, "Can I take a picture?" kind of makes me laugh. You know, it's cute.
It is cute. Jack the Bible Donkey will continue helping the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign through December 19th. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast a bit later on KOAM News at 10. The Lamar Tigers looking to capture their 8th state championship. Going to have the highlights.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a much nicer day for us today. Temperatures quite a bit warmer than what we did see yesterday. Plus, on top of that, we got the sunshine, which is always nice to see. Great time-lapse Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, we had the fog during the morning hours, you can see, and then it burns off, partly sunny skies. Great shot of the sun setting as well. So what are we going to see over the next several days? We're kind of in a little bit of a boring part of the pattern. It's going to be a nice weekend, but I do think we'll get a much bigger storm system by the time we head into next weekend. So that's what we'll have to keep our eyes on. And of course, you can always get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. Look at our temperatures, quite a bit warmer for us today. 41 yesterday, but into the lower 50s. 4 highs today, which is pretty good. And it does look like as we work through the next couple days, our temperatures are going to stay nice into the 50s. 39 in Iola, 37 in Veneta, Pittsburgh at 39, Anderson a hair cooler at about 36 degrees. Looking off toward the east from the station, 41 west, southwest winds at about 5 to 10. Humidity is at 67%. But clear skies, not much is going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains is clear behind the storm system that gave us the rain over the past couple days. Now, if we look out toward the west, this is where all of our weather comes from. Not much going on, so a pretty good indication of what we're going to see. We do have these weak little waves. Look just south of El Paso. You can see a weak little wave that is going to roll off toward the east, but it's mainly going to stay to our south, so it's not really going to affect us much. Now, up to the north, near Winnipeg, also another weak little wave that is going to slide just to our east, so it won't affect us much. Let's watch the wave to our south. A few clouds, maybe a random shower 100, 200 miles south of us over the weekend. We are going to be fine. On the second half of the weekend, here comes a system that slides out near St. Louis. We're on the backside, so the colder side, but in general, we look pretty good. Then a nice big ridge of high pressure all week long, and then our first wave rolls out on Friday. This is next Friday, and this will give us chances for rain, but a much stronger storm system moves out next Saturday and Sunday. That will be one that could give us some wintry weather chances. So we'll keep our eyes on that over the next week or so. Kind of cold tonight. We'll drop back 28 to about 30 degrees for an overnight low. A little bit of fog to start the day. Again, not near as thick as what we had this morning. And then we're going to warm up through the 30s, through the 40s, up to 50 by noon. And I think most of us up to about 54 tomorrow afternoon. So temperatures look fantastic. Let's look at tomorrow night. We'll drop back into the 30s once again, and then by the time Sunday rolls around, mostly sunny skies, a little bit cooler than what we're going to have tomorrow. But I would say overall the weekend is going to be fantastic. You got to remember it's December. Even on Monday, it looks pretty good as well. 54 tomorrow, 50 on Sunday, 53 on Monday. Look at our temperatures warming into the 60s by Wednesday and Thursday, and then rain chances next weekend.
Like you said, Doug, sunshine is always good.
Yeah, I can't beat it.
No, always good seeing you. Thanks so much, Doug. Still ahead, the Lamar Tigers looking to snap a state championship drought as they take on St. Pius out of Kansas City. And an interstate matchup in Joplin as the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons take on the Eagles. Highlights next.
Well, tonight is the night for the Lamar Tigers. Lamar plays for a state championship this evening, facing the St. Pius Warriors out of Kansas City. Now, a win tonight give the Tigers their 8th state championship and put them back on top of Missouri Class 2 for the first time since 2017. Here we go, second quarter, scoreless game. Third down, Trace Wilhite getting the sack on Jack Mosh. Loss of 8, Warriors got a punt. Ensuing Lamar drive, fourth down, Case Tucker fighting his way through. That moves the chains. A few plays later, we got another 4th and short. Tucker again. First down. However, Tigers unable to get in the end zone. We're scoreless after 1. Late in the first half, Mosh gets brought down by Rylan Wooldridge. All defense in the first half, man. Still scoreless at the break. Now, this play here, this is what did it. Down 3-0 in the third. Pass from Joel B. short of Mason Gastel. Right in stride, man. Gastel in for the 74-yard score. That's it. That's all they needed. Lamar back on top of Missouri Class 2. Tigers take the title 6-3.
At some point this season, it hit me that, we have a very special group, and it could go the distance. And, and we talked about that. When that opportunity came, it was like, guys, it's there for the taking. So kudos to these guys. They've led this team. They've put in the work, and they've earned tonight.
On the basketball court, we have a little interstate matchup tonight in Joplin. The Eagles host the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. And Joplin 1-0 coming in. It's the first game of the season for Pittsburgh. First quarter, Carson Wampler knocks down the 3 for the Eagles. Other end, this guy's bad. Javon Grant to the rim, converts, and the foul. Big first half for Grant. Second quarter here, more from Grant, pulls up for the 3. Grant had 20 in the first half. Game high 34 for the game. Micah Bruggeman doing work on senior night. 3 ball there. Then final seconds of the first half, Dom Simmons beats the buzzer. 6-point Joplin lead at half, and the game stayed tight, but Joplin tops Pittsburgh tonight 61-60. Well, tonight is a season opener for the Parsons Vikings. The Vikings are at home to kick off the season, hosting the Girard Trojans. On the boys' side, Parsons ranked number 3 in the state in Class 4A to open the season. Girard will kick off the scoring. Gabe Muya there for the 3. Then it's Rigby Bourne going through some traffic. Girard has the first 5 of the game, and they're not done there. Another bucket here from Muya puts the Trojans up 6 early. Now Parsons responds. 3 here from Trey Tullis. Then another 3. This time it's going to be from Ethan Houck. Vikings within 2. Later in the quarter, it'll be Julius Smith-Reese this time. Through a couple defenders for the bucket. Game tied early. Parsons would go on to finish it off. Final score in this one, 58-47. To the girls' game now. We'll start it in the first. The hook here from Jada Valley. Girard up 9. The Parsons respond. Layup here from Anaya Hinman. Vikings, though, still trailing by 8. More from Jada Valley here. Third quarter. This jumper here puts them up by 20. Then shot goes off the glass here. Faith Poland, she had a game-high 28. Girard up big. Later in the quarter, dish out to Danica Lopez. She knocks down the 3. Girard running away with this one. They get the big win tonight, 81-32. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Technical Sergeant Alfred Nost. The Webb City native served in the U.S. Army, and we are very proud to salute Technical Sergeant Alfred Nost. He is tonight's 4-state hero. All right, you're probably planning a shopping trip sometime soon. I still have plenty of shopping to do, just so you know. While you're doing that, consider buying a toy for the KOM Toy Box campaign. In its 32nd year, the Toy Box campaign helps provide new toys for kids in need right here in the 4 states. You can find a list of locations to drop off new unwrapped toys on our website. Just click on Toy Box Drop Off on the banner at the top of the page. You can also click on that banner and donate money through our website at any time, or you can phone in a financial donation through our Toy Box Tuesday telethon, and we'll do the shopping for you. That's going to be Tuesday on KOM News at noon, 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Final check of the forecast with Doug Hetty. Looks like a great weekend coming up.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're going to have sunshine for us tomorrow. Temperatures even a little bit warmer than what we did see today as we go into the mid-50s. Hair cooler by the time Sunday rolls around, and then also Monday kind of in the lower 50s. Nice warming trend, though, for us next week before a bigger storm system next weekend.
Doug, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great, safe weekend. We'll see you tomorrow.